Keep the knees locked. Keep the right weight right where it's at. Abs drawn flat. Feeling that bounce. So we want to keep the weight right where it's at here. That's primary, and then behind that is the positioning of the body. Weight stays where it's at, and now we got the hips, the abs drawn flat, the knees locked out, and now we're having fun with that bounce, bounce, bounce. You're getting in tune with the bounce. Don't force the stride to be big or fast. Get in tune with that bounce. Abs drawn flat, keep the knees locked. Let the ankles do all the work. Good, right underneath you. As you think you got it, you can go bigger, but don't force it. Good. Make sure you're keeping that weight in front of you so that the hips are slightly behind the shoulders. Shoulders stay slightly ahead of the hips. Abs drawn flat. Keep those abs in good position. Down and push, down and push. Don't worry about kicking the foot forward. Abs drawn flat, knees locked. Good. Stay forward now. Abs drawn flat. So same thing. Now the ball's over top to really force him to focus more on refinding that same good hip position. Abs drawn flat. The weight is slightly ahead of the hips. The bounce is produced directly underneath the hips. Knees are always locked out. Abs are always drawn in flat. It's about finding that subtle position. Once you find it, you've conquered half the battle of learning to sprint. Good job. Remember, keep that weight steady where it's at. Find that position to start from and keep it there. And find a good body positioning behind that initial starting position. Abs drawn flat, lock those elbows out. That weight should be ahead of you. There you go, right there. You can lift the weight up a little higher. There you go, right there. So we went from an 8-pound medicine ball into this is a 20-pound kettlebell. Same thing, and it's gonna force him to slow down, and that's okay because we're focused on finding the good position. Abs drawn flat. That weight should be slightly ahead of your head, but not straining your shoulders to hold it up. Find that good angle there. Keep the elbows locked, abs drawn flat, knees locked. Good. Break. So if it starts falling apart and it looks like it becomes a weight room strength and conditioning exercise, then we're going too far. All right, we got to keep it bouncy. As soon as it becomes a strength lifting routine, then it's wrong. All right, we're teaching a bounce. We're teaching him how to activate those tendons to immediately give that elastic energy. All right, this is not about straining with muscles. Good hip position, abs flat. Same position all the way through. Don't try and go big and go fast early. Keep the knees locked. Keep it as small as it needs to be. Knees locked. Abs braced. Good. All right, so now, before we move on to the barbell, we got stride outs. And it's not to be fast or powerful, but to get in tune with that same bounce that we were just ingraining. All right, so it's just have fun with the bounce. Good forward lean. So we got 2 of these. These are basically like a little shakeout before we keep going with the work. His only job is to feel good through the bounce, not to feel fast or powerful. Just allow that bounce to be right where it was during the drills. So we got same thing here. Now we got the barbell, which just makes it a little more challenging having to balance it. But it's the same thing. We're focused on flat hips that allow the sturdy position as we move forward. We keep the knees locked, which force him to get taller so that he has the space underneath him. All right, it's not forcing it to be a big stride or a fast stride. It's keeping it as small as possible so long as he's maintaining the correct bounce. His knees could be a little more locked out there. Underneath you, not in front of you, underneath and behind. Break. Same thing, the focus is keeping the weight exactly where it's at, and then behind that position, we have to make sure the hips, knees, ankles are there, good forward lean. Abs are always drawn flat. The smallest stride that it needs to be to keep it bouncy. Directly underneath and behind you. Let it feel bouncy, not like you catch any weight, it immediately bounces. A little fatigue because he's backing off a little bit. This is round number 2. This is the last round, so now the most challenging one, barbell over top. You know, he's been overhead squatting for very many months now, so he can handle this barbell, but if your athletes have not been, I suggest you use a PVC pipe or something with barely any weight. Knees locked, abs flat. So what we want to see on the way back is more displacement. All right, it's still catching a little bit of weight, so we want it to be a little bouncier. So the knees locked out a little more, and then feel more air time in between each stride. So let's keep the knees locked, and let's try and feel the air time on the way back in between the strides. Air time. It don't got to be a big stride, just allow yourself to stay in the air as long as possible. Knees locked all the way through, abs flat. So we want ankles working here. And basically we're teaching him to finish that extension from the ankle to the knee to the hip. So this one has some work to do. Still pretty good, but that 45 pounds is a challenge and we want it to feel like nothing. So we will do these for the next few weeks and I will show you guys the progress at that time.